Hi, my name is Riz and welcome back to my fitness channel. Today I have for you an upper body Pilates workout. All you'll need for this workout is a towel and a mat and maybe some water. Pilates is amazing for posture, strengthening your core, rehab, and overall just strengthening your body. Join me on the mat for our gentle warm-up. Lying on our backs with our knees up, we're going to lower our knees to the left and then lower to the right in this TikTok-like motion. Keep it fairly quick. We're just warming up. Getting onto all fours, we are going to sit back on our heels, take our left hand and place it on our ground. So our left elbow and hand are on the ground. Our right hand is behind our head. We are going to touch our right and left elbow together and then open up. Like so, you are pushing that left elbow into the floor as you open up, really looking up to the sky. Your eyes are following that right elbow. Let's do two more. And off to the other side. Next, we are going to go into what I like to call almost like a scissors type movement. So you're going to take your right hand, you're going to reach as far as you can behind you, and take your left hand and reach it as far as behind you like so, and then you're going to switch. Two more. Next, we're going to go into some arm circles. Your arms may start to burn, but this is just a warm up, so if you want to take a break, that's fine. We're just trying to let our muscles know that it's time to exercise. So, moving your arms forward, draw nice and big circles. You can kind of play around with where you want your palms face. You can pull them to the sky, to the front of you, behind you, to really feel that rotation in the shoulders, nice mobility in there, and then switch opposite direction. All right, once you're done with that, we're going to warm up our core. So getting into an all fours position, we are going to lift our left leg off of the ground and our right hand forward into bird dog. And then come back down and then off to the other side. This is great for stabilization, engaging our core, engage our upper body too, and a bit of our lower body. Keep that core engaged. And breathe. Make sure your back isn't too arched while doing this, or in too much of a hollowed position. Just nice neutral spine. Really squeezing that core. Finish up on each side to even it out. And we are done. All right. For our first exercise, exercise. Let me just get the timer ready. We're gonna go for 40 seconds on, about 20 seconds off, transitional. As I transition to each exercise will kind of be your rest, and the demo will be your rest. So, this workout's great for intermediate to advanced. If you're a bit of a beginner, that's fine. I will offer some regressions as also progressions in each exercise, so you can kind of gauge where you are, make it a little harder for yourself. I have a good workout for you, so let's try our best here. So getting into downward dog, follow along with me. You can keep your heels lifted off the ground, but really pushing away from the floor with the palm of our hands. Our core is engaged, and then we are going to transition ourselves into a plank. A nice tall plank. My core is engaged. I'm not super arched. I'm not super rounded. I'm nice and engaged. I'm really pushing off the floor with the palm of my hands, and I'm switching back into downward dog and then back to plank, like so. You're also pushing your big toe, your toes into the ground. You're really grabbing into the floor so you can help stabilize yourself and keep yourself off the ground as long as possible. As you get tired from doing this to this, you can kind of go into downward dog and drop to your knees, come back up, back into downward dog. All right, getting the timer ready. Let's begin. Don't forget to breathe. This is great for our shoulders, some of our upper back, our core. Keep going. Keep your hands and fingers nice and spread out so you're really grabbing towards that floor. Last one. And done. All right, next we have a side plank. So, there's different kinds of side planks. A more difficult one is your feet is stacked on top of each other and you're coming off the ground. If this gets a little difficult, you can always place your foot right in front of the other, like so, to help stabilize you. If you'd like to make it even more difficult, you can come up off the ground and lift that other leg off the ground. So starting on our right side, starting timer, and let's begin. So I'm really pushing and driving my elbow into the floor. I'm not collapsing down. My chest is nice and tall. You can keep your hand behind your head, behind you. You can even use your hand to stabilize you right in front of you. Really push and pull that core up, and you feel yourself dipping. Woo! Don't stop. If you see me stopping, don't you stop. And done. All right. Off to the other side. Take a breath, take your sip of water. if you found yourself freaking out in that plank, like you just were wobbling everywhere, you couldn't stabilize yourself, you can always just come up off the ground like this. This is totally fine. This is still a side plank. Your side abdominals are still working. You're still pushing your elbow into the ground. So this is totally fine. As long as you're pulling your core up as you feel you're about to dip is where you'll really get that workout in. All right, let's begin. Pushing, driving that elbow in and keeping my chest tall. This is still an upper body workout, so your upper body will begin to shake. That's fine. That means it's working. Just breathe. Woo! Breathe. Really pull your core up to the sky. And done. I stopped a little early there. Don't mind me. Okay, next we have our Supermans. All right, so laying onto your stomach. Placing your arms in front of you, you're going to lift off the ground, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your core. You're pushing your toes, your feet into the ground. You see how my legs look nice and relaxed here? This is my legs relaxed. This is them engaged. Notice the difference? All right, so this is what it's gonna look like. They're gonna come up off the ground and you're really pulling yourself upwards using your core. This can be an advanced move if you've never done it before, because we don't want your back to be in pain here. We want our core to do the work. We want to squeeze our glutes. So coming up off the ground with this Superman, you can hold this here if you like, but follow along with me if you can. Pull your elbows down, squeezing your back and coming forward. Come back down to reset, come back up. Our head, our face is face towards the ground and not moving. Our head everywhere, you know. We want our spine nice and neutral. Okay. Starting the timer, let's begin. Coming up off the ground, pulling my elbows in, coming forward, reset. Really engage your core. And done. Next is where your towel will come in. If you're on a slippery ground, then this exercise would be best. It's going to be a lot harder if you are on maybe some sort of rug or carpet, so I recommend getting on something slippery. So I'm going to move my mat to the side here. And placing my towel on the ground, you're going to lay your body on the towel in this Superman position, we were like before, we're gonna really grip our hands into the floor. This is gonna be the very important part. So make sure your hands, your fingers are spread out wide like this. Bringing your elbows towards you, you're gonna pull yourself forwards like so, and then you can push back to reset. This is to mimic a pull-up. If you have a pull-up bar with you, do a pull-up. But if you don't have a pull-up bar or something to pull yourself up with, or bands or something like that to practice with, then I recommend this specific exercise. If you'd like, if you don't have a slippery surface, you can just do the Supermans. And if you have a band, you can use band too to do the Supermans. But for the rest of us who have a nice flat surface, I'm like checking, like. All right, setting up my timer. This is you guys' rest, the timer, the demos. All right. If I come a little out of frame, just know I'm putting in that work. All right. Getting into your Superman position, let's begin. You're really engaging your core here. You're using your hands, the grip of the floor, to your strength. And done. Let me know in the comments below how that exercise was for you, because we want to be able to target, our backs and all these other muscles if we don't have a pull-up bar, because those muscles matter too. All right, so setting your towel aside, or you can just use it for this next exercise instead of your mat. We're going to go push-up. Now, there's all different kinds of push-up variations. Some of them can be really imitating. You can elevate your feet. You can elevate your arms. You can do them on the wall. The ones we will be attempting to do today, get into plank position. You're going to lower into the ground. And as you come back up, you're coming back up into with your knees on the ground. So just to demo it again, I'm lowering to the ground, my knees touch the floor, and I come back up. You will notice that you will have the strength to lower down into plank, but you may not have the strength to push yourself off the ground into that plank position. That's why we're lowering our knees. If you can just do a standard push-up, that's awesome. Do those. But for the rest of us, this is what we will be doing. All right. Getting the timer ready. Let's begin. We're in our strong plank. We're lowering to the ground. Placing our knees off the ground. Come back up. I'm keeping my elbows tucked. Do not flare out your elbows. We're getting our chest here, getting our triceps. Some of our shoulders. Woo! Don't stop like me. Last one. And done. Y'all did great. All right, so here's the deal. We got one more round. If you'd like, after that round, you can repeat this entire workout again before going into the cool down, or you can just be done after the second round. So, getting the mat back in place. We have our down dogs to planks. This is the second and last round for some of us. If this is your last round, really put in your all. Put in all that leftover strength you have been keeping inside. Really put in your all here and spend all that energy, because once you're done for the day. All right, getting into downward dog. Let's begin. Keep that core engaged. If I'm not talking a lot, it's because I'm working. Last one. All right. Next. Look, I got a little surprise here. All right. If you can do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, if this killed you, then take this rest. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go into plank and then you're gonna tick-tock. So reaching your hand up to the sky on one side and reaching off to the other. Our feet is dipping down, our body is dipping down. We are taking our weight and we're pushing it to the other side. Working with this exercise can actually feel a lot easier than you imagine, but we're really pushing off the ground here. As we reach up to the sky, we're looking up. All right, we're doing this 5 on each side. Let's begin. Nice and quick. If you're not as quick as me, that's okay. Just do as many as you can. And done. All right. Next off, we have our side planks. I know you're probably dead after that tick-tock plank. So, getting onto your left side, allow your heart rate to come down a little bit. Grab a sip of water. You got this. All right, getting into plank position. We're really pressing our elbow into the ground. Listen, the ground is actually your asset here, okay? It is a force to push away from. Pushing, that act of pushing is going to help you feel stronger and taller in your workouts. That goes for planks, push-ups, but also squats, squat jumps, lunges, anything where your body is connected to the ground. So, starting our timer, enough for the chit chat, and let's begin. See, if I wasn't pushing as hard as I can into the ground with my elbow, I'd literally collapse right now. So keep that in mind. Really push the world away. Whew. You can use the ground, stabilize you. If you fall back down, get right back up. And done. Had to check the timer there. Like, these plank movements make you feel like it's never gonna end. Like 40 seconds feels like 5 minutes. All right, getting off to the other side. Woosah. The breath, the oxygen is our friend, okay? Let's breathe it in. And begin. You'll notice one side is stronger than the other. Like this side, I'm like so strong, and the other side, I'm like, Jesus, I'm like weak. All right, come back up. And finish right on time. All right, next is that little surprise look. You might realize I got a surprise after each exercise. All right, getting back on your left side, we are going to go into a side plank pulse. So what it's going to look like is you're going to come up off the ground like this. You're going to pulse like so. You're going to go for 8 of these. Look guys, you got this. If you don't want to do this, that's fine. Take your rest. But if you got that extra energy to push it, to really put in your all, then let's get right to it. All right, 8 reps. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Last one. And done. Off to the other side. Don't rush through it too fast. We want to have control here. All right, let's go. Last 2. And done. All right, next we have our Supermans. Yay, to lay on the ground. All right. Like I said, really push your feet into the floor. We're engaging our legs. The rest of your body is going to help you with each exercise. Knowing this, you will always get to squeeze out a couple more reps or a couple more seconds. All right. All right, getting the timer ready to our Supermans. Let's begin. If you'd like, you can lift your feet off of the ground for a little bit of glute work. Otherwise, keep them on the ground. Last one, last one. All right, next we have the surprise. Okay, so for the surprise, it has a little bit of mobility involved, but we're going to be holding at the same time. This is what I mean. So, getting into your Superman position, you're lifting off the ground. So I'm holding here, right? But then I'm going to take my arms like a bird, and I'm going to turn my hands, and then my knuckles are going to face my butt. Then I'm turning my hands some more until my palms face each other in front of me again. Now, instead of resetting and coming back onto the ground, we're going to keep up. So we're holding, yet we're moving our arms. You're going to do this for 5 reps. All right. Getting into position. Let's begin. Really keep up off of the ground. Last one, last one. And done. Okay. Next we have our towel pulls, whatever you like to call it. Get your sip of water, your rest, whatever you need. All right, let's take a breath. And exhale. All right, so we have our towel pulls now. This movement I don't do that often because I have a pull-up bar on my own. So it's a little like challenging for me in a way, like mentally, because I'm used to coming up off of the ground. But this in a way mimics the pull-up to the best of its abilities, that we're pulling ourselves. So you're really, instead of, how you would grip a bar, you're really gripping the floor. I want you pressing into that floor, and almost like, how a frog presses into the wall and really grips its fingers into the ground. Grips its fingers into the wall like a tree frog. That's exactly what you're going to do. All right. Our core is still engaged, always engaged. All right. Maybe a little more. And let's begin. You can have your feet on the ground, but I like to keep them up. Let me set the timer. All right, and begin. You may notice it's actually a lot easier for me now in the second round. Our bodies get acclimated to new exercises fairly quickly. That's why we should always increase the time, increase the reps, increase the sets, or increase the weight. All right. Next, we are finished, by the way. Next, we have our push-ups. So, for those towel pulls, we don't have a surprise at the end, but we do have a surprise for the push-ups. So, getting in a push-up position. Nice tall plank, like how I taught you, in the warm-up or in the very first exercise. We're really pushing our palms into the floor, our feet into the floor. We are tucking our pelvis in. So, it's the second round now, so it's kind of like too late, but just make sure your back isn't too arched. Really tuck in your pelvis. So I'm bringing my bum into the floor, like so. And like this, my core is engaged, squeezing my core on top of that. So really drawing in as much strength as we can. That's why I give these cues like push into the floor, squeeze your glutes, engage your core, because we're drawing strength for as many places we can, so we can, push out a couple more reps or seconds or whatever we need. All right. Getting into plank. Oh, gotta start the timer. Let's begin. Keep the elbows tucked. So my elbows are facing behind me. Woo! Come on, one more, we got this. And done. All right, next we have our surprise. I promise, look. You can do it. I know you can. You got it. You got this. This surprise is going to almost build that push-up strength in a way. So when we come down, you may have noticed in your push-ups or in some of my push-ups as the reps got harder, is when we come down, we might just flop to the ground, This is kind of like resting your muscles in a way. You want to constantly keep that engagement going to reap as much benefits as we can from the exercise. So for this surprise, instead of dropping to the floor, we are going to hold a push-up. So not a plank, but this position. Look, we're gonna hold it for 10 seconds. It's just 10 seconds. If you can hold longer, you keep holding, okay? This right here is going to be our finisher, whatever you call it, our surprise, our finisher. It is the last one of the day before we get to relax and cool down, or unless you're doing this all over again. So, setting up my timer. Let's take a deep breath. And begin. Hold. Just keep holding. And done. See, like that went by so fast. All right. Join me on the mat for our gentle cool down so we can let our bodies know it's time to relax and recover before we return into that crazy world. So, laying back down onto our backs, we're going to drop our knees to the floor, tick-tock, like we did in the warm-up, but at a much slower pace. We're stretching here. We're stretching. Line your legs to the left. You're going to reach take your right hand and you're going to reach it all the way around you like your clock until your hands meet and you're in this lying position. And then you're going to reset and back into this nice twist like so. I can't really fully reach, but because of this freaking pumpkin that's in the way. Okay. Keeping that hand onto the floor, we're getting a nice stretch in our shoulder, in our armpit, and also a gentle twist in our backs. Off to the other side. My knees are facing the front of me. Keeping them planted on the ground. Last one. Lost track of time there. Onto your knees. You're going to do a thread the needle exercise. So you may be familiar with this. For those that aren't, you are in this all fours position. You are reaching your right hand to the sky, really pushing your left palm into the floor, and you're going to take your right hand, you're facing your hands, you're following your hand, and you're going to put it through this pocket like so, coming down to the ground. Our right shoulder is touching the ground now, and we're pushing the floor away with our left hand, looking up to the sky. So you may feel a stretch in different places depending on where you are. You may feel a stretch in your shoulder. You may feel a stretch in your back. All right, coming back up, and then off to the other side. I'm really pushing away the floor with my right hand. So I'm looking up at my hand at the sky, and then I'm threading the needle. Threading my hand through this pocket, and then looking back up to the sky. You may even feel a stretch in your neck. Coming back up onto your heels. We're going to go into some basic arm stretches. So placing your right hand across, you're going to hook your left hand and place it right in front of your forearm like so, and pull. Pull your fist towards you. You're keeping your chest face forward though. We're focusing on this pulling, this stretching. And then off to the other side, hooking. Make sure your arm is placed where your forearm is to get that maximum pull and stretch. Next, you're going to pull your right elbow in towards the back of your head, reaching your right hand to your mid-back. For that nice stretch in the arm, and breathe. Off to the other side, pulling my left elbow in towards the back of my head, and I'm reaching, my left hand is reaching towards my mid-back. pull your head side to side like I do. And that concludes our upper body Pilates workout. I hope you enjoyed this workout. Comment down below, tell me if there are any other workouts that you would like to do. I do all kinds of things like, you know, dumbbells. So upper body dumbbells, beginner, intermediate, advanced, it doesn't really matter. I'll bring it to you. You can even, you know, I'll do HIIT, I'll do cardio. Just let me know. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, okay? And I hope you have a wonderful morning or evening or day.